Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some incredibly cool battles in the Open Master League featuring a level 50 perfect IV Hyper Beam MELOETTA. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. Now, MELOETTA is a normal and psychic type mythical Pokemon with the moveset of Quick Attack, Psyshock, and Hyper Beam, and this trainer pairs it up with a Ho-Oh lead and a Dialga to nice success. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out MELOETTA hyper beaming everything in the Open Master League. Hopping into the first match, setting Ho-Oh into Zacian. Most Zacian are running Wild Charge these days, and the opponent staying in tells us exactly that. Ho-Oh farming up to the Sacred Fire, Zacian playing to the CMP type, very risky versus an Incinerate user, and they're going to fire off the Wild Charge. Wild Charge is going to be no shielded by Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh returning fire with the Sacred Fire. Opponent going to save switch into Dialga, and now we have the Dialga Mirror. Neither one of these Dialga have the best buddy active, so this will be a very even fight. Dialga is going to no shield as the opponent is going to go for the Iron Head, and now it is Draco Meteor time. Opponent is down a shield, and they're in a tough spot here. They're going to no shield the Draco Meteor. They're going to send back in Zacian. Zacian not going to be able to quick attack down, and they're going to fire off a close combat. Close combat will KO. Back in comes Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh makes it to the Brave Bird. This isn't time for the opponent. Is this where they use their final shield? Yes, it is. Ho-Oh gets farmed down, but now it is Hyper Beam time with MELOETTA. In the back, opponent has Yveltal. This is typically a very good matchup for Yveltal, but MELOETTA has the 2 shield advantage. Farming up, going for the Hyper Beam. Yveltal has no shields remaining. Hyper Beam one-shots Yveltal. Opponent can send back in the Zacian, but the Zacian's gonna follow a similar fate. Zacian goes for the Wild Charge. MELOETTA shakes it off like it's nothing. Opponent going for Wild Charge number 2. We see the shield from the MELOETTA. MELOETTA not content with the Psyshock, going for the disrespect Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam takes down the Zacian, and that is a good game. Picking up a bit of a tricky lead in the next match, Ho-Oh versus Melmetal. Ho-Oh, of course, is able to hit for massive super effective damage with the Incinerate and Sacred Fire, but Melmetal returns with a double super effective Rock Slide. Rock Slide is going to connect Ho-Oh no shields, building up to the Sacred Fire, baiting with the Brave Bird, expecting the opponent will commit the shield. Opponent does not shield, and that is very unfortunate, as now Melmetal will be able to win the zero shield scenario. Ho-Oh just going to take the Rock Slide and instead use this as an opportunity to get energy on the MELOETTA. MELOETTA will be able to tank whatever Melmetal throws. MELOETTA is extremely bulky. MELOETTA looking for the farm down. Opponent not going to let that happen. In comes Mewtwo. MELOETTA going for the Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam does get respected by the Mewtwo, but now it's Dialga's turn. Dialga at a shield advantage here. Mewtwo has a ton of energy. We see a shield from the Dialga as the opponent does go for the Psystrike. Dialga immediately returning fire with the Iron Head here, looking to get rid of the Mewtwo. The final shield has been used, and you already know that means it's going to be Hyper Beam time. Is Dialga going to shield here? Dialga does, and it's the Focus Blast that proves to be an extremely impactful shield. This is only the Psystrike, so Dialga does not have to worry about this, and hopefully whatever's in back can be hyper beamed. Beautiful combo play by the opponent. Melmetal KOs with the superpower, but now there is nothing to stop the wrath of MELOETTA. In the back, there is Dragonite, but Dragonite will be able to outpace and make the Dragon Claw. MELOETTA in the yellow, can it survive? Yes, it can. MELOETTA is so tanky, and now it's Hyper Beam time. Hello, Dragonite. Goodbye, Dragonite. MELOETTA farms down the Mewtwo and secures the win. We see a familiar lead in the next match, Ho-Oh into Zacian. This Zacian is staying in, which is a dead giveaway that they do in fact have Wild Charge. Opponent plays to the CMP tie, and they're going for the Wild Charge. The nice thing about this matchup for Ho-Oh is that a Wild Charge is non-lethal, so Ho-Oh is able to tank the Wild Charge, return fire with the Sacred Fire, and grab a shield. Also gets the attack debuff as well. Opponent playing to the CMP tie again, as their Wild Charge wins CMP over the Brave Bird. Wild Charge will get a shield from the Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh returning fire with the Brave Bird here. Brave Bird will be no shielded, and down goes Zacian. Opponent sends in Groudon. We see an immediate pivot into MELOETTA. Groudon staying in here and going for the Precipice Blades. Precipice Blades is an extremely powerful move. MELOETTA honestly tanked that fairly well. And now it's MELOETTA's turn to nuke. Going for the Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam nearly KOs the Groudon. Oh my goodness. They go for the Fire Punch. That's not going to KO. Opponent snipes with Dialga, and we're going to have a battle of Dialgas, but the opponent does have the best Buddy Boost equipped, which means this is going to get quite difficult. With the best Buddy Boost equipped, the opponent is doing an extra damage of Dragon Breath in the mirror, which does make this quite uncomfortable. Iron Head will be shielded, continuing to farm up with the Dialga. Going for the Iron Head, may need a catch to win this game. This will be close. Iron Head gets the shield, farming up, and the frame perfect catch onto the Ho-Oh. You love to see it. Opponent undercharges, looking to get some extra farm, but that is not going to help them. Dialga with a sliver of HP makes it to the Iron Head. Iron Head will not KO, but the Dragon Breath after does. And the Dragon Breath KOs the Groudon as well, and clutches an improbable win. Picking up a tough lead in the next match, Ho-Oh into Giratina Origin. Going to stay in this matchup and look to Brave Bird before eventually safe switching out of here. Going to fire off the Brave Bird with the Ho-Oh. Brave Bird will be no-shielded. We see a safe switch into MELOETTA. Opponent now going to send in Excadrill. Exca going for the neutral drill run, and we see the no-shield by the MELOETTA. MELOETTA able to tank charge moves quite well. Everything is resisted here, so may as well Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam, big resisted damage onto the Exca, getting them deep into the red. MELOETTA should be able to barely tank this, but will commit the shield on the drill run. Looking for the quick attack farm down, and gets it, KOing the Excadrill. Opponent is going to send in Zacian, already revealed the Hyper Beam, going for the Psyshock bait. Opponent calls the bait. That is absolutely soul-crushing. I would have loved to see a beam land there. Psyshock will be no-shielded again by the opponent. Opponent fully comfortable with letting this health go on their Zacian. They are trusting in the Giratina, but that's not going to save them. Ho-Oh will be able to tank the Shadow Ball from the Giratina, and now you can just send in Dialga, and Dialga should be in a very comfortable spot to win this game. Going for the Brave Bird here. Brave Bird will get the shield from the opponent. In comes Dialga. Dialga met with loaded energy from the Giratina. Shadow Ball is going to connect. Dialga not quite able to get the farm down. Giratina, did they make the Shadow Ball? No, just the ominous wind. Dialga farms down. In comes the Zacian, but Zacian is just running out of HP here. Dialga will be able to commit the shield on the close combat, get the Dragon Breath down, and get the win. We see same leads again in the next match, Ho-Oh into Giratina. This is definitely not a fun matchup for Ho-Oh, so basically just looking to Brave Bird like they did last game and switch out. But this time, the opponent is going to be firing off a Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is going to connect onto the Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh is going to throw one more Incinerate, go for the Brave Bird, and then look to safe switch out of here. Brave Bird is going to connect. We see a pivot into Dialga, and the opponent responds with Melmetal, not what Dialga was hoping to see. On the bright side, MELOETTA doesn't really want to see Melmetal either. Dialga will commit the shield. Melmetal went for the superpower, and now returning fire with the Draco. This Draco, after the debuff, is going to hurt, and it is able to connect. Dialga looking for the farm down, but not before Melmetal is able to make another charge move. They go for the superpower into Dialga, and they have one more superpower. Dialga is going to no shield. That's not going to KO, and the Dialga gets the farm down. In the back is Togekiss, and this is looking tough. Opponent is going to send in their Giratina, and Giratina will be met with MELOETTA. MELOETTA is running Quick Attack, which unfortunately means they have absolutely no fast move pressure here. So MELOETTA will be forced to go for the Psyshock just to get rid of the Giratina. And now there's a 2-shield Togekiss, and 2-shield Charm I think is just going to be a bit too much to handle here. MELOETTA going for the Psyshock. We see a no-shield from the Togekiss, and even though MELOETTA does have some pretty decent bulk to it, unfortunately these charms are proving to be a bit too much to handle. Psyshock will be shielded. MELOETTA cannot make the next charge move. In comes Ho-Oh, but unfortunately, I think it's come to the point where Togekiss will make double Ancient Power here. Ho-Oh not able to get the farm down. Togekiss reaches the second Ancient Power, and that's a good game. We've got mirror leads in the next match, Ho-Oh versus Ho-Oh. I definitely don't mind staying in this lead matchup, specifically because Ho-Oh lead teams are often weak to Dialga in the back. Farming up and going for the Sacred Fire and winning the coin flip CMP tie. Opponent should no-shield this, as even a Brave Bird wouldn't KO. Looks like actually the opponent may have lagged there. Opponent lagged, did not get their Incinerate through, and now they're an Incinerate behind in the Ho-Oh mirror. That is very unfortunate to see. Going for the Brave Bird here. Brave Bird will be shielded by the opponent. Opponent firing off a charge move, and we're going to see a shield from the Ho-Oh. Opponent goes for another Brave Bird. We see a simultaneous save switch, Reshiram into Dialga. Dialga definitely not going to appreciate Fusion Flare, so we will see a shield from the Dialga. And now the question is, can Dialga farm down before the second Fusion Flare? The answer is yes. Dialga leaving with a lot of loaded energy to threaten whatever the opponent has in the back. Opponent is going to send in Ho-Oh. Dialga farming up, firing off the Iron Head here. Iron Head will be no-shielded. That's going to KO. In the back is Zekrom going for the Draco Meteor. This should guarantee the shield. And then it's Hyper Beam time. Draco Meteor gets no-shielded. Opponent miscounted. And that's a good game. Moving into the next match, leading Ho-Oh into Shadow Mewtwo. Shadow Mewtwo, always a scary Pokemon to see, as it just outputs an absurd amount of damage. We see a beautiful catch onto Dialga to absorb the Psy Strike from the Mewtwo. Mewtwo is going to switch out, and in comes Melmetal. Melmetal proving to be an ever-present nuisance for the Dialga save switch. Dialga is going to no-shield here, letting the superpower go. Opponent is going to get the KO, but now they are debuffed. That means the Rock Slide not going to do as much damage as it typically would. Rock Slide is going to connect onto Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh throws one more Incinerate and goes for the kill shot with the Sacred Fire. Sacred Fire is going to get the shield. Opponent continuing to farm with the Melmetal. They play to a CMP that they do not win. Ho-Oh, Sacred Fire, gets the final shield, and now, honestly, I think you just saved 2 shields from MELOETTA, and you just Hyper Beam everything. Back in comes the Shadow Mewtwo. Mewtwo farming up quite a bit of energy here. We see the no-shield from MELOETTA. Opponent goes for the Ice Beam, and that hurts, even against the bulky MELOETTA. MELOETTA going for the Psyshock here, potentially hoping for a Psyshock and farm down play. Psyshock is going to connect, will have to commit a shield here, as MELOETTA is starting to run out of HP. Psystrike will be shielded, MELOETTA gets the farm down. The question is, what does the opponent have in the back? In comes the Melmetal. Melmetal firing off a charge move here. MELOETTA will commit the shield. MELOETTA continuing to farm, going for the Psyshock. Hopefully this will be enough to KO, and whatever's in the back can be Hyper Beamed. It KOs. It's a Dialga in the back. And unfortunately, Hyper Beam not going to cut it here. Going for the Hyper Beam anyway. Hyper Beam does half of Dialga's HP, but Dialga gets the win. Hopping into the final match, picking up a positive lead, Ho-Oh into Dialga. Definitely going to want to stay in this lead matchup, as MELOETTA definitely does not want to see that Dialga. Ho-Oh is farming up quite a lot of energy here. Opponent did build up enough for the Draco. We see the shield. Opponent baits with the Iron Head. Ho-Oh accidentally goes over 100 energy. Easy to do with an Incinerate user, and goes for the Sacred Fire. That will get a shield and an attack drop. Farming up. Not quite able to make it to the Sacred Fire. Lets the charge move through. It's the Iron Head. That will not cut it. Ho-Oh makes it to the Sacred Fire, but the opponent makes a beautiful catch. Catching the Sacred Fire onto Kyogre. Kyogre does get hit with the Sacred Fire and get hit with the debuff as well. Dialga looking for the farm down. Kyogre with a sliver of HP makes it to the charge move here. Is it the Blizzard? Yes, it is. Opponent is able to grab the shield. Dialga leads with so much energy here. In comes the opposing Dialga, going for the Iron Head. Iron Head, of course, is resisted, but Iron Head plus farm should KO. Opponent is going to get fully farmed down. In the back, it is Mewtwo. Dialga full sending the Draco here. Opponent has to respect this, and they do. And now it is MELOETTA time. MELOETTA farming up, looking to make it to the Hyper Beam. Mewtwo fires off a charge move. It's the Shadow Ball, but Trainer, that is single resisted. Due to MELOETTA's unique typing, it's going to be resisting both the Psystrike and the Shadow Ball. And now it's too late for Mewtwo. Hyper Beam takes down the Mewtwo, and that is a good game. All in all, these were some incredibly fun battles. I think this might be one of the only Pokemon in the Master League meta that actually gets same type attack bonus on Hyper Beam, and man, that damage did not disappoint. On top of that, I do hope we get additional opportunities to get MELOETTA in the future, because man, having a perfect IV MELOETTA is an incredible flex, and as we can see here, MELOETTA can put in a ton of work in the Master League. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.